And we are ready to go.
Come on. Is this thing working? Come on. I'm not sure if everything's working.
It's working. It's working on my end.
All right. Let's see if it's. Okay, cool. It's finally working now. I'll go on Rumble. All right.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, everybody. We are now live. So, everyone, welcome to this very special edition. We're doing a deep dive on the backlash against Sony's decision to go completely digital and get rid of physical media. This is set up, and Wavo is in charge of this. This is his baby today. So he is going to be the one doing the talking and leading this here discussion. He has done the research, done the deep dive digging. So it's all up for him.
And I am going to also call upon the help of our lovely Scooby Pup, who has the resources to dig much deeper, even than I have the ability to. So today is going to be fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we also have our gracious host, Richard Spake, and our wonderful Reaper, Casey.
It's a pleasure to be here, I must say. And I get to be close to Scooby. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. AC, the Reaper is here to reap Sony, I guess.
That was my intent. Should the situation call for it, I have been given a dispensation to go over to Japan and put down a world of reap.
But you would also want to do that primarily, though, to the U.S.
No problem. No problem.
When you think about it, it's really the U.S. that's putting this shit up.
Hey, I'm an equal opportunity reaper. Me and Godzilla, we get the job done any way we have to.
Well, one thing I want to say before we get really started. I'm old-fashioned. I like owning my media. I mean, if Crazy Horse and Alice was here, they could tell you about the stacks upon stacks of CDs and DVDs that line my wall. Because when they came by to visit and they saw them, they were like, "Oh, you weren't kidding." I'm like, "You think that's a lot? There's several big, huge boxes over in the other room."
Same. I have like huge boxes full of DVDs, CDs, also even more games for PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. So those are all disc-based. I like my disc games.
Well, the thing about this that gets me, it's like a lot of the people slapping back against Sony has said in the past. All these people who say you don't actually own your digital products.
You don't.
Be it movies or games. You're just renting them. Well, if we don't own them, that means piracy isn't going to be illegal. And that's how I feel about it. That's why I like having physical media. Because
when you think about it,
I've got that are digital. That I was told that if Amazon ever decides to wipe them, they can wipe them. And they've already said the same thing about my Kindle collection of books.
It's interesting that EA actually did do something right, in which the head of EA did say a couple of years ago, not a long time ago, but just a couple of years ago, the head of EA did say, get used to not owning your games. Now, he was referring to EA's subscription service. He was referring to their subscription service. But by the way he said it, when he said, get used to not owning your games, he called it right then and there.
Yeah.
He realized that he was calling it for the entire industry, but yeah, he pretty much caught it right then and there.
Yep.
Uh,
And we have all of this leading to July 1st, 2026, when PlayStation announced on their blog, on their website, that, of course, physical PlayStation discs will be discontinued starting in January of 2028.
Well,
A lot of people have rightfully so expressed a great deal of displeasure over this, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. There are some people who are saying, well, who cares if they discontinue physical media? I care, for one thing, because without physical media, without the ability to pass down games to other people or to gift games, I would not be doing what I am doing right now.
Yeah.
I am in the position where I am not financially able to just willy-nilly buy whatever game I want on the internet. I cannot buy digital games for the most part. Most of the digital games I have were gifted to me. We are getting to a situation where now PlayStation is making it impossible to do that. And that is causing a great deal of legal trouble for them.
Mm-hmm.
There have been
One of the things that got me about this. This is bordering on a monopolization of gaming.
well, here's the thing. Though they made the official announcement on July 1st, they had been phasing it out already throughout the past 2 years. They've been subtly dropping signs, as well as other companies have just barely, dropping little hints that they're going to be doing a lot of their stuff strictly digitally. They've been dropping hints for the past 2 years. So when it came to July 1st and they announced this, I was not in the slightest bit because I kind of saw a comment. A lot of people that I know did because, like I said, they were dropping hints. A lot of people their games to be strictly digital. It was kind of obvious right then and there too. It was like, okay, this game is only going to Game Pass and Steam, and it's like, okay, then where's the physical versions of this? And every time they come out, it's certain games come out, they'll say digital only or whatever, and it's kind of like, okay, I can see where this is going. Now we have PlayStation, we have the Xbox with their Game Pass. Well, Game Pass is the only thing keeping Xbox alive, and Game Pass is all digital. We have Steam, extremely popular, all digital. We have the Steam box that's coming out, all digital. PlayStation, PlayStation 5, when it came out, it had two systems. It had physical disc and digital. That right there was a big ass warning sign for the PlayStation. So it really was kind of obvious in a way, but it just took us all a long time to see it.
Yeah, and like you were saying right before we started, Nintendo is the one that started this trend by introducing the concept of the game key cards.
Yes, Nintendo is the one who finalized the idea. When they came out with the Switch 2 and they raised the prices to their games of like $80 and such, well, then the Xbox and PlayStation consoles went from selling their games from $60 to $70 to raising their games to $80. And on top of that, people always thought physical was more expensive than digital. Well, if you take a look at things right now, digital games are actually now more expensive than physical games. And with Nintendo, what they did with the Switch 2 is they brought out the Switch 2 They brought out the cards. Everybody thought, oh, it was physical. No, those were cards that had game keys on there, which you had to then enter in onto the internet and get, your digital key game code. So that way you could actually play your game. You put in a Switch card, a physical disc from a Switch card into a Switch 2. Congratulations, you just bricked your system. Is Nintendo going to help you? No, they won't.
No. For those of you who aren't familiar with video games, I'll draw a parallel. What is happening, what the trend Nintendo has started is the equivalent of buying a pack of trading cards. Like you go out and buy like a pack of like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. There is no cards in it. There is no cards in it. It's just the empty cellophane wrapper. You have to take that wrapper into a official store. You trade the wrapper in, then they will give you hand-drawn pictures of the cards. But you do not have the actual cards. That is essentially what is happening.
And then on top of that, you have the gamers who are on PlayStation and Xbox and stuff. They all say, well, if they're going to get rid of the physical disc, then I'm just going to go straight to PC gaming. Yeah, well, guess what? PC games, they're digital.
Yeah, unfortunately, PC gaming went digital when PC manufacturers stopped putting disc into onto their equipment. You actually have to now buy an external disc reader to plug into your laptops and your desktops.
There is
that kind of stuff.
There is a difference, though. There is a key difference between PC gaming and what PlayStation is doing. Because PC gaming, yes, you have Steam, but there exists a wide variety of different places where you can purchase the same games online on PC. Where with PlayStation, what is going to end up happening, the only way you will be able to buy PlayStation games is on the PlayStation Store. They will have zero competition, and their prices will skyrocket.
Unfortunately, though, they have removed not just several, they have removed about 500 games from their store on the PlayStation system. They've also raised the prices for PlayStation Plus, removed several games from the PlayStation Plus as well.
Didn't they also remove a whole bunch of movies as well?
They are about, not yet. Next year, they are going to remove some, not all, but some movies that you have purchased, but that are available to be seen on their own app, the Sony app that they have.
I think it was like some 500 movies, wasn't it?
No, the 500 games is what's going on.
Because I noticed they had made that announcement, and then like a week later, they announced this. I think I find the timing to be very suspicious. Because people started going up in arms about them announcing that they're going to be taking all these movies down, which I understand the licensing agreement between them and this other company has ended. I understand that.
So basically,
They announced this. Then they announced this, I believe, to distract people from that.
So what it is they are removing 500 games. The licensing issue and stuff, what they are doing is saying, we are taking away the movies, but not all of them. Also, if you want to watch the movies that you had, then you have to use the Sony app, which they do have their own movie app in there, and that movie app contains all the movies that they will be removing. So basically, they're saying, well, if you want to continue watching your movies or owning them, you can use our app. So you can either buy them through the app or you can rent them.
So they did at least provide an alternative there,
Yeah,
rather than
they
just
provide-
simply losing everything.
Yes, they provided an alternative. Is basically what they did.
Can I, being a small country reaper who hasn't been a gamer in quite a number of years, ask a question? Because it seems to me, if I understand you correctly, that what Sony is basically doing is, because they're curtailing physical media in the form of games and to some extent movies, they are making you basically pay $80 on their store to buy air. To buy
So
what?
in the sense for the movies, they're making you continuously play over and over for your movie. Basically, that is if you're renting through that app. As far as the digital and physical goes, one of the other big mistakes that they are doing by this, by having both digital and physical gaming, they were able to reach a wider audience. By taking away the physical discs, they are narrowing the amount of people they can sell stuff to, which is another thing I don't think Sony realizes. And also by doing this move, all the systems and stuff that they have been advertising have been receiving nothing but negative responses. They have a new game controller coming out strictly for fighting. When people saw that advertisement on Twitter, oh lord, the backlash and hate for
Yeah.
on that was
And
absolutely insane.
And never mind the vast myriad of companies, even in other unrelated industries, that immediately began mocking them. Domino's, GitHub, which is a all digital media hosting and sharing website. Actually, they posted a thing on Twitter where they announced that you'd be able to get all of your files and stuff on a CD-ROM, which is very ironic. Now, it's all satirical, but obviously a take on PlayStation. Even Domino's.
Yeah.
You have game studios, Eternum and Tessura Studios, and even console manufacturers. Even Domino's took to Twitter saying, quote, "In response to trends in the gaming industry, as of April 1st, 2027, Domino's UK will cease production of physical pizzas and shift to the production of digital pizzas only." People began, as soon as they made this announcement, everyone came out of the woodworks to start mocking them. You have game studios and console manufacturers mocking them and pulling their support from Sony.
Yep.
Now, as far as a lot of people think, they think, oh, well, if we do a petition, we can stop this. I can tell you right now, anybody who's watching, a petition won't do jack shit. Nobody at Sony will give a damn. A lot of people thought that England and France blocked them. Well, that blocked the decision. Well, that's not the case. The broader European Union have not blocked Sony's decision to discontinue physical game discs. What they've done is, even though there's backlash and, like I said, petitions, the commissioner for the consumer protection, Michael McGrath, stated that the bloc is powerless to intervene, saying that companies are free to offer whatever services they wish to in a manner they see fit under commercial and contractual freedom. So this is also by contract. Now, the only place that's really actually, aside from us consumers, the only other place, though, that we could look forward to is Brazil. which is considering taking legislative action to protect the physical media. But European regulators explicitly ruled out imposing legal obligations to keep video games playable and or physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have to really, the only place that we actually have to look forward to is Brazil. If they can make a statement or whatever with what they're doing, then maybe Sony will pay attention.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Sony was already Sony was already facing a £2 billion or $2.7 million US dollar lawsuit over in the UK.
Yeah, for store prices.
Yep. And now you have Stitching, Massacade, and Consummate, which is a Dutch nonprofit organization, filing a $450 million lawsuit, which again claiming that they now operate as a hostile monopoly. I look for many more such lawsuits, which if Sony has the same kind of lawyers Nintendo does, I think it's just going to be a small scratch for them. I think Sony's going to end up getting away with this. So what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people have spoken up in defense of Sony. Well, who cares about physical games? Like you were saying earlier, yep. People say, who cares about physical games? Many people, like me, historically rely on secondhand copies, hand-me-downs, gifted games, and things that we can buy in old retro gaming shops. My very first video game console was an NES that I got from my brother. I also got my PS1 from my brother. I grew up a PlayStation loyalist. Taking away physical media makes sharing our love of gaming with the next generation impossible, especially since Sony now has the power to take any game they want and just make it simply vanish like it never existed. I guarantee you, when the PlayStation 6 comes out, it's not going to have a disk drive. There's going to be no backwards compatibility. And whenever the PlayStation 7 comes out, everything that was released on the PlayStation 6 is going to vanish. Lost media.
When the PlayStation 6 comes out, it's just flat out going to fail. I mean, the PlayStation 5 digital, they had an attachable disc player. Obviously, because the digital wasn't selling as well as the physical disc one was. So they had the attachable, they made an attachable thing so you can play discs with it. And I do stand corrected. You guys were right. It is 500 movies that were pulled. So my apologies on that one. But
no, you're good. You're good. Everyone gets their facts crossed. I'm notorious for that.
But PlayStation and other Sony brands, they've been largely radio silent on social media since July. The day they announced the ending of the physical disc, which begins in 2028. Yeah. So
since then,
we still have some time, but it's very limited.
Since that post was made on July 1st, their next post was on July 6th, and after that, every subsequent post has been ratioed to high heaven, and every single post has been community noted. And I want to put that out there.
Yeah, and that was when they made the announcement for the new joystick, the Flex Strike Fight Stick. Yes. When they made that announcement, oh Lord, good luck finding a positive statement. There were next to none. Everything was negative.
Yep. And even comments even the positive comments that were made towards Sony got
Even
ratioed to high hell.
Yeah, and even on Instagram, they received like 6,000 angry replies.
Yep.
So
Now-
that's insane. And they've pissed off a lot of their brands, but a lot of their other
Yes.
brands really don't give a shit.
Yeah, and you have a lot of PlayStation fans threatening to
Instagram.
boycott. You have a lot of
Yeah.
PlayStation fans threatening to boycott. Many of
Yeah,
them
Instagram
are
has-
canceling their PlayStation Plus subscriptions.
Yeah, and Instagram, they have over 6,000 angry replies, and that's a lot for Instagram.
Yeah.
See, what I don't. All right. I'm a PC gamer. I use Steam a lot. That's where most of my games have gone through. I do still have my Star Trek Online disc over there. I have the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order over yonder. Somewhere around here, you can probably even find my disc for City of Heroes and City of Villains. My issue in this is the fact Steam has games from all of the various different gaming companies on it. This has me thinking that they're going to try to make a monopoly of their games, to where the only way you can get their games is by buying it straight from them. And it's more along the lines of, it's not you buying the game, it's more along the lines of you subscribing to be able to play the game.
You see, that's where Xbox's Game Pass comes in. Xbox tried that with Game Pass, and they're barely keeping afloat with that. Because as far as Game Pass goes, yeah, they have a lot of their own exclusives. Sony shared a lot of their exclusives with the PC until they realized, yeah, we're not making as much by doing that. So they stopped, as of this year, they stopped sharing their exclusives and making everything that they have coming up pretty much exclusive or timed exclusive. But it's a shame. And I mean, and it's not even just people off. The fact that they even returned to social media sparked people getting pissed off. One example is a quote, somebody saying, "Seriously, the strategy is to ignore millions of us players, not a single mention, even just to show a minimum of respect. Ostrich strategy is, and that's it," reads one post.
Yeah, even Hideo Kojima from Nintendo also weighed in on this on X.
Well, Hideo Kojima started off on Konami.
Yeah, but he has a two-part Twitter post where he says, eventually, even digital data will no longer be owned by individuals on their own initiative. Whenever there's a major change or accident in the world, in a country, in a government, in an idea, in a trend, access to it may be suddenly cut off. Then part 2 says, we will not be able to freely access the movies, books, and music that we loved. It would be a have-not. That's what I'm afraid of. That is not greed.
Yeah, it shows that your movies and your video games and anything of that sort can be taken away at any point in time, whether you like it or not. That has happened to me before via Konami, and like I said, Hideo Kojima, he was fired from Konami, now works over in Platinum Studios, thank God. But yeah, you have the people out there who say, well, if they're not going to do physical discs, then I won't do digital. Instead, go to PC. Well, like I said, well, guess what? A vast majority of the games that you want are digital and are on PC.
Yep. And that's one thing. That is one.
It is a valid point that a lot of people out there don't seem to understand.
And that is the one and only thing that gives me any respect for Nintendo at all. While yes, a lot of their games for the Switch 2 are digital key cards, even among the Switch 1 games that are still being released, they do still allow the developers to make actual physical cards that have the content on it. Like this one, which you can't see, this is Let's Go Eevee for the Switch 1. This has the data on the card. They cannot take this away.
Yes, the Switch 1 is a different story, but...
This is another example. The old PlayStation disc, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, those,
Ubisoft tried to put in their EULAs that once a game was canceled, you were legally obligated to physically destroy any physical copies you had. I'm pretty sure that's against the law.
Not exactly entirely with whatever goes on with them. I mean, it's their contract states other things. But as far as
you can't take this away.
Yeah, as far as physical media goes for Nintendo, it's the Switch 2 that causes a lot of problems. The first Switch, that was fine, but when they said, yeah, you can bring over your Switch 1 games, a lot of people said, well, our physical versions of our Switch 1 games don't fit, or they'll brick your system. And so that's why the Switch 2 is a big major fuck up, in my opinion.
Yeah. The Switch 2... The Switch 2, I cringe anytime I see one.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one that got, they would staple stuff to the package and end up destroying the Switch 2?
Yes, there was one GameStop that actually did that, and they got in huge trouble for it.
There was one incident where a guy went to GameStop, bought a used game that was returned, and Switch 2 said, oh yeah, you could do this kind of stuff, you won't have any problems. And he bought the used game, actual money, paid it, he went in to play it, his system got bricked. Why? Because Switch 2 took it as it being a modded game.
A pirated game.
Yeah, a pirated game.
The MiG Switch thing.
Yeah, and they thought it was the Switch 2 thought it mistook it, read it as a pirated game. He went to Nintendo for help. Nintendo gave him a finger, and it was right then and there when everybody said, "Oh, so Nintendo isn't what they say they are doing." I mean, they're getting hell, they're getting sued over by these two gamers in Washington over the tariffs. So yeah, it's Nintendo's. When you think about it, a lot of the consoles are going away the way of the dodo. But then you look at the PC, and people think, "Oh yay, PC!" Well, guess what? PC is coming out with their own console, but the games are digital, and on top of that, they're charging you $1,000 or so for the Valve box, Steam box, and the build on that is that of a base PS5. So it's like everywhere you turn, it's going to be digital, and that's going to bite them in the ass big time.
I can't help but think as I listen to this that it's very reminiscent of what's going on in other areas of our entertainment. You've got these people, and I did read an article somewhere about this that said that the idea behind the whole switch to digital thing was that you are coming up with a generation now that is more used to using digital media, so they figure that they will always have people to sell the stuff to. But when I think about what has gone on in Hollywood and other entertainment industries, you'd think somebody would be paying some attention here, because you've got the same kind of a perfect storm of suck that Hollywood has gone through, and they may never recover. And I'm thinking, here goes gaming now too.
Yeah, and I had made the mention earlier of I do have digital copies of games. There are some games that were designed to be digital only.
Yes.
Example, Minecraft, which is made by Mojang, which is now owned by Microsoft.
Fortnite.
Yep. Those games are designed to work online or offline. They are digital only games, but they are designed to work offline. That is why Fortnite and Minecraft are so incredibly popular. Because I can take, let me pull up my camera. I can take this to somewhere where there is no Wi-Fi, no internet, and I can still play Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because it was designed to play online or offline.
That is one of the reasons why I have a PSP. I love and adore my PSP. But it had physical and digital. Whereas the Vita was pretty much all digital, and it sucked ass because it had next to no games. And the PSP Go was pretty much similar to the Vita, but the PSP was awesome. Like I said, it had physical and digital, and I was able to like import games and play on that damn thing because I had a blast with those. That is one thing that pisses me off by Sony doing this. I can't import any of some of my favorite games anymore. I have a lot of games imported from Japan, and the fact that they're doing this shit means unless I create a Japanese account, which I do have, I can't buy any of their games.
Well,
which really pisses me off.
What was the other company that okay, you have the Nintendo, which is who was Xbox again?
Xbox is Microsoft.
Okay, you've got Xbox.
Even Xbox has said they want to get rid of their console.
You have Nintendo, PlayStation. What's the other one?
Steam.
Steam is the other big one.
Steam is digital, strictly digital. It's PC.
Somebody was saying that Steam was wanting to make their own console.
Yes.
They just released the Steam box or the Steam machine.
They just released it, and you have to pay they charged it the same price as that of a computer, so it's like around $1,000 or so. Next weekend on my podcast, I'm covering that, I'm covering this, I'm doing a deep dive on all that stuff.
All right. I'm just trying to. When it comes to console stuff, I'm only thing I've got. I used to have a Wii, but I
I
sold.
remember the days of the Wii. Oh my God.
You know,
Yeah, I had one.
the only reason why I had bought a Wii was the lightsaber game, and it was not what they advertised.
As far as the Wii goes, all I have to say is this: they didn't have any good games, and what games they did have were IPs that they had bought from other companies that used to they bought Bayonetta, which I'm surprised was they even did because that's an adult game, and the Wii system was a family system.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I did love so much from the Wii. I didn't play a single damn game from it, but people, come on. You gotta know how to use a controller right. The amount of people who got pissed off because they threw their controllers into their TV screen. Oh my God, that was great.
Well, one of the things that
It's like
I
that rope is there to put around your wrist. Do you not realize that?
well, my thing was the fact trying to do the lightsaber stuff with it just didn't work. It just did not work. I had a friend of mine that came over that knew how to hook that shit up. It's like, oh man, this is the lightsaber game. I wonder how this is gonna work. I don't know, but every time I watch the commercials, it looks awesome. Let's get it on. And even he was sitting there going, "This."
Now, you see, PlayStation did have their own version of that, but they did it a little bit smart, and I'll tell you how it was smart. First off, the tip was rubber, so if it hit your TV, it's not going to break your TV. And second, that was only really usable for certain things like Dance Dance Revolution and everything, where you could move your arms and whatnot and stuff. So they had certain points where you had to use that, and they were in ways that you couldn't lift your arms in the air or whatever. Like you saw some of those Wii games where people would lift their arms in the air and they would get hit by their ceiling fan or whatever. It's like I said, the Wii, it was a funny little system. I loved watching the videos on YouTube of people uh, playing bowling games, and because they didn't have the rope around their wrist, they would lose the controller and go flying into the TV and stuff like that. I loved watching those. I thought they were funny as hell.
Well, you know what got to me? I mean, I had a Wii for like about 2 months, and I got it because it looked like an interesting concept for a system if it had worked right. But I like arcade games, and to be honest, all they ever had were, like you said, ports from other companies, and most of them were done on the light rail kind of thing, where basically there was only one way you could move through the entire game, and then I'd have a lot of trouble. Like you would use the controller like a gun, so you'd have to be able to point it right at an exact spot so that the sensor on the top would be able to register that you fired it. So you're playing a game and I'm trying to get it to line up directly with the sensor. And by the time I could get it to line up right to get it so I can make a shot, they already killed me.
Yep.
Yep.
After a while, going, this ain't worth it. I gave it away to somebody.
Well, like I said, I sold my Wii to my brother in law, and my niece and nephews played the hell out of it till it died. Uh,
As far as like the digital and physical games go, Um, the one thing that I liked about having the choice between the two is if for the physical discs, if something went wrong, you could take it back.
Yeah.
If you have if you own it digitally, something goes wrong, guess what? You're stuck.
Yeah.
And even if you're stuck with a digital one and you go out and get a physical one, well, because the game system knows that you have a digital version of it, whatever went wrong with the digital version gets transferred over to your disc, and you're going to have the same problem.
It's one of the things that I just don't like. This whole you'll own nothing and be happy with it. That just drives me nuts. The whole you're just going to be a renter now is ridiculous. And
anything you own can be taken away at a moment's notice is basically what it is. And the fact that the head of EA actually pretty much said that, even though he was referring to his own company, and the fact that it pretty much happened is a shocker to a lot of people. But at the same time, when you think about it, as time goes by, it's really not a shocker because people rely more and more and more on AI and digital stuff and whatnot. So what's going to happen? Physical stuff is going to be phased out.
Yeah, I just.
So this won't be just this won't be just console related. A lot of this stuff's going to happen over time to other things.
I mean, it's bad enough with hey, Carlos Fish. It's bad enough, like with at least with Kindle books, you can download the stuff and store it offline. So there is that. But it still doesn't change the fact that if they get a wild hair up your butt, they can take books that you have purchased and get rid of it out of your Kindle library, and they don't even have to tell you if they've removed it.
Yeah, Konami did that to me once. I had a fighting game, and I had it with a key code, and I was loving playing the hell out of it. And I woke up one morning, and the game was gone. 100% gone. All the info that was on it, all the saved info, all of it, the game was gone.
Yeah.
I called up Sony, and they said what happened? I told them what happened. They said, sorry, we can't help you. If that happened, then that's all on Konami.
Now, fortunately,
Hey,
crazy.
Up,
Fortunately, me, knock on wood, I have not had that happen to me yet. All of the digital stuff that I have purchased, I still have. Like, I purchased one digital game on my Nintendo Switch, and that was Slime Rancher, which I want to be able to get a physical copy now that I've learned that they are ending support for the Switch.
Big Dave K, check to see if you've got either top chat or live chat going.
Good to see you, Crazy Horse.
Yeah, I just walked inside, so out doing yard work.
I've been missing you, hon.
Yeah, you're not Big Dave K. Yeah, check your live chat.
Well, I'm looking at live chat,
but yeah,
and it's not showing up. What the heck?
I've been missing you and Alice.
Yeah, we've had a lot going on recently, so it's.
I hope all is well.
And I see Carlo. Well, I see him. He's in my live chat, not my top chat.
But
I hope all is well. So.
Yeah, we're working through it.
That's good to hear.
But yeah,
so what you think about what's going on?
The Sony and everything. yeah, I don't like the no disc and not, especially when you have like limited internet. What do you do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's one other thing that people aren't thinking about that does need to be discussed, and that's preservation.
Mhm.
There is a organization out there that is specifically designated to preserving the history of video games, and that means storing up at least one copy of each and every game that is released. We are getting into an age now where preservation is going to start becoming progressively more impossible.
It to me, this is one of those things that just okay. First off,
Deep breaths.
it's making the transparency attempts a whole lot harder. I'm a big believer that if you buy something, it's yours. I'm, it's my money, you know? If you're getting my money, I want the product. I want to be able to take the product and keep the product. You can't just take it away from me for no damn good reason.
Yes. I want to be able to play it 20 years from now. I want to be able to relive those days.
Yeah. It's like okay, one of my favorite games was City of Heroes and City of Villains. I loved that game. It was fun. I could get on there, talk with people about comic books while I played a superhero. Had a blast doing it. And then one day, the company that owned the IP decides they didn't want to support it no more. Even though the fans offered to buy the IP and everything and set it up as its own thing, the company said, nope, ain't going to do it. We're still shutting it down in under a month.
It's just like when you buy those games that have either disc or online option, and then the company that gave you that sold the game so quick without telling people shuts down the server. So you lose all of your info and everything. You can't play with your friends and whatnot. And I think that I believe that happened to Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah. But
Uh,
when
People
they shut
they said
down,
they said thank you for buying the game, but we're shutting down the servers.
yeah, when they shut down the City of Heroes, I was there for that day. I actually did a 30-hour gaming stretch. So I could
That
talk
is
to
a
And
all,
long time.
yeah,
Bungie, they're going to do the same thing with Destiny.
and we basically spent 30 close to 30 hours just being there with each other as everything was getting ready to shut down. Everybody met up in the big central plaza as servers went offline. And I wasn't there for when it finally completely went offline because I lost internet connection.
Oh,
And that hurt more than the fact that they were shutting everything down because I promised to be there and the dang internet shut the hell off 10 minutes before they turned off the servers.
yeah.
We had friends
Bungie, they're
that
doing the
were
same thing. Oh, sorry, continue.
they had the other servers in other areas, and as everything was being shut down and people were jumping servers, I remember that shit, And when I found out that that you can actually play it again, I've held off on going back because I as much as I want to go back and play it, I'm worried that I'll have to restart from the very beginning. That part doesn't really bother me. It's the fact that I don't want to end up going back and having my good memories bring back the tears of when it was time to shut it down and all the people I used to be able to hang out and talk to. The fact I know most of them probably aren't still around no more.
Another thing is between the like Bungie's doing that with Destiny. At least they announced it. When exactly it is, they haven't said yet, but at least they announced it. But a lot of things, as far as digital games goes, especially for multi-platinum, not multi-platinum, especially for multiplayer games, I don't think these gaming companies realize that a lot of people make very good friends and sometimes lifelong friends through these games.
Yeah. Carlos Fish says the idea of consoles are obsolete. Nintendo has won a handheld that can be wireless and played on TV.
As much as I hate to admit it, I believe that is what the future of gaming is.
The thing is, though, now that Steam's gotten involved, though, the consoles actually do have a longer lifetime because they do have they do have all the stuff that the PC does, but in a box. So Steam has like Steam or Valve, whatever you want to call it. They basically made their own little console, and by doing that, that's making the console lives actually last longer.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, we won't have the discs, but it's making the console lives last longer, and also not only last longer, but only use digital games. But they also have for the Steam machine and everything, it has the Wi-Fi controller. It has all that high-tech stuff also.
Yeah.
So I think pretty much the only I mean the competitors used to be for the console war. The competitors used to be Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. Xbox fucked up, and then it went to strictly PlayStation and Nintendo. Nintendo was crap, so they were automatically out, and PlayStation was ahead. Now it's all a mix between those three, but then Steam jumped in and said, "Hey, hold my beer," and now they are part of the console war, and they are in the lead because they have everything that everybody wants. Just the only problem is their pricing. And that's the other problem that Nintendo has is pricing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Xbox and PlayStation and Steam Box all are outdated by the time they are announced. PC is a better choice. Most people's preferred remote
PC is also
will link up.
But PC is also the thing is about PC, like I said earlier, it's digital.
Yeah. And
that's a big and that's a big problem for people who want physical. If you go to PC, you're going to get digital, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, but there's an issue with the consoles where you can actually do something else different on a PC with digital. Yeah. What's the storage space inside the console? Because I think it was brought up. I heard it on another one that a typical game is probably about 600 gigabytes that you have to download.
Well, the thing is about unlike some, for the PlayStation, as far as memory and saving goes, you can actually change it. I've done it multiple times. So you have your console memory, and then you have the additional memory. So you could go out and buy a 1 terabyte PlayStation system, go out and buy a 3 terabyte Seagate external card and stick it in, and it'll register as extra memory.
Okay.
So that was one thing you can do. for the PlayStation, you can modify a lot of the stuff in there, like the memory, and you can give it more memory. The problem with the Steam machine, though, is you can't do that.
Yeah.
And even in terms of old, but think back to the old days. I'm gonna bring PS1 into it again. Saving these was required so little space. Guess how much memory is on this?
That
8 megabytes.
so the
8 megabytes.
So the PlayStation 2 cards for saving and whatnot, that was very annoying because those could be easily lost.
Yeah.
This
Carlos
right
said-
here, this is actually a PS1 memory card. I still have my very first Ape Escape, Spyro the Dragon, Gex 3, Star Wars The Phantom Menace, all of those, my original playthroughs are all on this memory card from back when I was a kid in the 90s.
Yeah, I consistently lost. I was constantly losing my memory cards.
I kept mine in the slot at all times when I wasn't using it because I knew I'd end up losing it otherwise. Right now, I have several of them in a little Ziploc bag. Right here in a drawer. 8 megabytes was all you needed to store to save 16 to 20 games worth of progress.
And as far as PC goes, another downside to the whole PC thing, though, is for people like me who live in apartments. You don't have a lot of room in your room, or if you have an office, that's the only place it's going to fit. But if you're in your room or anything like that, you're shit out of luck. Me, I don't have a lot of room in my room, so I wouldn't be able to use PC, which is why I have a tiny ass little gaming laptop. That's it. That's how I do everything. That's how I do my podcast. It's how I whenever I want to do things on Steam, that's how I use Steam. Otherwise, I'm on my PlayStation. Because I can't stream any of my games via my laptop because OBS fucks ass when it comes to me. It's always freezing my games. So yeah, and that's also the reason why I always try to get a producer for my podcast shows. It's very difficult for me to do.
Yeah, that's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, it is.
I've been having that issue lately too.
Yeah, just a prime example. Yesterday's show, just like I told you guys, I did a review, aka review on Ghost in the Shell with a friend of mine, Love It Ever After, and because of that, that meant I had to change the opening and remove the outro. I didn't remove the outro, but I had to change things up a bit. So when it came to podcast yesterday, I forgot to put the outro back on and I forgot to put the intro back on. So when I turned on the stream to go live, it went straight into the stream, and me and my guest, Stupenzo, we weren't even up yet. We weren't even up on the screen yet. So
I had something similar happen Friday night when we did a impromptu special. And
yeah, that's why I was like, oh, that's when
my countdown opened up. I went to go click the video I had loaded for the intro I had just remade, and then I loaded it on the StreamYard. Me and Casey previewed it live before the show. As soon as my countdown opened up and I went to go click it, it was gone.
It's like, where is it?
And then I re-uploaded it after, I didn't have my YouTube muted where it automatically started with the volume. So that created chaos. I re-uploaded it, played it. Once I had closed out the show and reloaded my StreamYard, I had 2 copies of the video in there. And it screwed up the opening so bad because none of us were expecting to be live like that. As Casey, it was a shit show.
Yeah, but
It
dude,
was.
we got through it. What can you say? We got through it.
And if it wasn't for Alice mostly keeping the show going while I'm trying to run everything, trying to do it all by myself would be it's tough.
Yeah. And I know there are some people here in the chat and elsewhere who abhor digital games. I have no problem with games that happen to be digital only. Where I draw the line is when your entire company makes such a drastic shift. Just a couple of years ago, Sony was mocking Microsoft for doing the same exact thing they are doing, saying that they will always have physical discs. For me, where I draw the line is when you make such a drastic shift in your philosophy that you feel the need to remove people's freedom of choice. What people want is the ability to be able to choose. And Sony has taken that away.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think that is the ultimate heart of the matter. Because it's not necessarily about, oh well, this game is digital only, that game is physical only. It's about being able to choose. Which is why Rockstar came under fire when they announced that GTA 6 would be digital only. Just like me, for
But
years.
Rockstar also said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna charge you $100 for it."
Yeah, that's another thing. That is where Sony is headed. Because if Sony goes through with, when Sony goes through with this, because let's face it, they absolutely will. Once they go through with this,
Carlos Fish,
their prices are going to be so high, Nintendo is going to look like a fucking hero.
Carlos Fish says this all falls under the whole 2030 agenda of you shall own nothing and you will be happy. And then Marcelo says that silence you just heard was called a mic drop moment.
Yep.
And Carlos also says any company espousing that belief can go out of business. I would say also go to straight to hell.
Yep.
Let me put some more of my southern twang into it. They can go straight to hell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've got to that point to where if a business is going to be basically mock its customer base and literally tell the customer base you're wrong, you're going to take what we produce and you're going to like it. I'm sorry, you want my money, and the only way you're going to get my money is by treating me with respect, or maybe a mouth hug with a head bob added to it. And even then, I'm questioning if I'm going to be giving you my money. And for you who don't know what a mouth hug and a head bob is, you sweet, sweet summer child, thank God you're not here in the gutter with me and Casey.
All I can say is that better be happening. It better be with a supermodel, and I don't even know at this point if that would do it for me, because I'll tell you the truth. I mean, I don't do games because, well, I can't really see well enough to play them anymore, and I can't really use the controllers. But one thing I do know about is movies, I mean, you go and you actually go out and you spend like $14.95, whatever for like a movie. And I did this, and it's like I go to watch the movie again like about 3 weeks later, and they tell me, "Oh, it got taken off." And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'm like, well, since you took my money for it, this month, uh, can I get another movie? And they're like, no, you got to pay for it. You got to pay for another movie. I'm like, I haven't got a lot of money to be spending to put my, Blu-ray collection and DVD collection back together again. So that means I got to go and take whatever option is available. But if the only option that's available is run by a bunch of thieving crooks, like I say, she better be a supermodel, and I don't even think that's going to work anymore.
And Tim is in the house. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. After this, as I said before, I was a Sony loyalist. I was a PlayStation loyalist
Likewise.
since 97. After this, I'm the kind of person that I'll let you trample all over me all you want. But you don't mess with the people and the things that I love. A moment like this, my trust is so broken. I don't think I will ever be able to trust Sony again after this. And I know there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way. I am happy with my PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, but I refused to upgrade past my PlayStation 2 when they took away backwards compatibility. The main reason was because I didn't want. There was some games where I had made so much progress on, I didn't want to abandon the progress I had made on those games and have to start all over from the beginning.
That's where when it came to when I got my PS5 and I found out it had PS4 backwards compatibility, I was like, well, I still have my PS4 disc for it, so I'm not gonna go out, and buy the PS5 version unless it's a PS5 exclusive. But if a lot of times if I have a game, like if I play a game to the point where I have the platinum on it, you're gonna find out more than likely I won't touch the game for quite a while. because it means I've played the fuck out of it. Pardon my French. It also means that I need a break from it. But when I got the PS5 and I found out it had backwards compatibility, I was like, yeah, since I already have the this game, I don't really need to play it in this one. Like I had the PS4 on for Deadpool. Well, thank God, I can play it on my PS5. For the PlayStation 3, I didn't have the backwards compatibility one. But then again, I was the type of person who was like, well, I don't really give a shit because I don't have any games on the PS2 that I would really care about, that I would want over on the PS3, because later on for the PS3 came games that I actually preferred, like Alice Madness Returns and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, those games came that by the time those games came out, the backwards compatibility was it really didn't matter. So, and most of the games that I played on the PS2 and such, they didn't carry over like to the point where they had sequels or anything like that. So it was kind of like, well, I already had them on PS2. I don't need to put them on a PS3. So why would I need to carry over,
All right. Tim says, my thing is with the movies getting taken away, just refund people's money. If you buy them, you should own it lock, stock, and barrel.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the reason, and that's the number one factor behind me refusing to get a PlayStation 3 is because they didn't have memory card slots for the 1 and 2.
Well, here's one thing that some people don't know. For the PS3, you were able to play your DVDs and your Blu-rays. When the PS4 came out, they took away that ability and only let you play Blu-rays. Yeah, the PS2, you were able to do that kind of stuff too.
That's what made the PS2 so famous. That's why people were buying the PS2 as opposed to the Xbox or Nintendo's latest console.
Yeah,
because you could watch movies on this.
Yeah,
this was a DVD player.
Yeah,
All
so was the PS3. The PS3 played DVD and Blu-ray, but when the PS4 came out, they got rid of the DVD part but kept the Blu-ray, which in my opinion really sucked ass, because if something happened to the Blu-ray reader, you were fucked. You would have to go out and either A, get a new one, or B, get it fixed, and a lot of times that wasn't really possible. So that's another reason why I loved my PS3 so much, is I was able to watch whatever the hell I damn well wanted. But yeah, the PS3 and the PS4 were great systems. The PS2, on the other hand, that has literally, it's in the Guinness, and it's also written down as the most popular and the best game system, the best game console to ever come out.
Yes.
Yes,
And as someone who still uses his PlayStation 2, I can independently verify that.
Yeah, and I think personally, PlayStation should take a look at that and should take a look at their past systems. They should take a look at their PS2 and their other PS3 and PS4. Look at what they did right. And if they're going to do another system, they should do what they did right with those. And go in that direction instead of going in fucking every other direction.
Yeah. And I can hear someone from Sony listening to this stream now, hearing what you're saying. Well, the PlayStation 2 is lightning in a bottle. We could never replicate that. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can replicate that if you would actually fucking try.
They can easily replicate it. I mean, hell, they made the fucking system.
Yes. The U.S. military was terrified when this thing first came out, because they were afraid people were going to daisy chain them together and make a supercomputer like they did with the PS4. But no, people got it because it was a DVD player. Because you could watch movies in addition to playing games, both of which I do.
Big Dave K says, such language.
Well,
It makes me want to play one of my Game Rage picture videos.
Yeah, we got.
One
we got Stark of Iron.
Yeah, chiming
joining
in.
us in the chat. I did send him a link, so he does have the ability to join us up here on the panel if he wishes.
And so does Carlos Fish.
Carlos, how is the fish?
Hey guys.
How you doing?
So I'm doing dishes, so I'm only going to be on for a second. Werebo, when PS3 first came out, they sold this little black adapter, and it was like $25. It provided you the ability to plug in your PS1 and PS2 cards, download them into a digital memory card, and then you could either put them back on and still play on the older systems. It actually opened up the entire world, because you can actually find saved game files and such online, download them, put them onto a memory card, and then play them on the older game.
Really?
So it gave you, oh yeah, that thing is now worth, the last time I checked was like 2 years ago, it's worth well over $100. I still have mine. I was like, yes.
They also had the Fat Bastard when it first came out, the very first PS3.
I have that one.
Yeah, the very first PS3 that came out was backplay compatible.
It played 1, 2, and 3 games. It had 4 USB ports in the front. It had memory stick card readers in the front under the flap and everything else. And mine has the red ring of death, but I've still got it because I want to get it fixed because it is the ultimate gaming system.
If I could get my hands on one of those, that would be a game changer for me. I would consider getting a PS3.
I could easily get that.
Yes.
For myself, all I have to do is get a hold of my buddy Al and be like, hey, I remember you have one. Can you give your big sis one?
There's a game shop in Nashville, and they posted up one in a box, and they said, we've still got the box, all the manuals, all the hardware. It is used, but it's fully functional and everything else. And they said, we're not going to go into details more than it's a 60 gigabyte fat original one. And they said, if you know what this is, come in, and then we'll talk price. And it's like, ooh.
That's why
the way they worded it was like, ooh.
That's why I call them fat bastards.
Yes. Yeah, no, I've still got mine. I've got my memory card reader. And like I said, I was shocked. I looked it up. I wasn't going to sell it, but I looked it up just to see. And there was like one listed and there was like 2 or 3 that had sold. They sold for over $100 each. And this was 3, 4, 5 years ago. So apparently it was I got it right when we got it. Originally, we were just going to get a Blu-ray player because my wife likes watching movies and she wanted to get a better player. And she goes, I want a Blu-ray player. So we went to Best Buy. And she goes, I know you like PlayStation 2. She goes, but PlayStation 3 is stupid. It's $600. That's absolutely insane. We are not getting that. You're not spending that kind of money on.
Sony made a big mistake with that one when they went with the PlayStation 3 could have sold a hell of a lot more than what it did, but they went with the price. They went wrong with the price, whereas the Xbox was far cheaper.
Well, and what was funny though is if you wanted a Blu-ray player, we went into Best Buy and she said, I want to get a Blu-ray player. And he said, great. Then you want to buy the PS3. And she goes, absolutely not. That's stupid. It's $600. He goes, I will sell you whatever you want. He goes, let me tell you. He goes, the Blu-ray players are over $1,000. He goes, they are static hardware. They are not a computer. They will only be able to get updates a certain way and up to a certain point, and then they will be obsolete. He goes, it is the biggest ripoff of the universe. He goes, the PS3 is a supercomputer. It is a game player. It has a better Blu-ray player DVD drive in it than the actual Blu-ray players do. He said it's $600, so it's $400 cheaper. He goes, it plays games, does all this stuff. He goes, and it is a supercomputer, and it is totally and completely badass. She looked at me, and she goes, fine, you're getting a PS3.
And another thing was about the PlayStation systems, and this still holds true to them, is the lifetime that they have on them is ridiculously long. I mean, it is stupidly long. And as for the PlayStation 2, those PlayStation 2 and the 1 and the 3, those suckers were built like bricks. You could drop them and not have any problem. I lost count of how many times I had knocked off the PS3 from my shelf and nothing would happen. My PS2, same thing. Nothing fucking happened. Even when the dog jumped on it, it's like the dog was like, yeah, I'm cool here. I can sit here. I know I'm not going to have any problem.
Sadly, the same can't be said of the controllers. I have a PS2 controller, an original PS2 controller up here that I just had fixed not just a couple months ago that I need to have fixed again after breaking it in rage while recording footage from my Spyro the Dragon review.
But
well, then don't break it in rage. That's a you thing.
But notice the PS2 controllers still lasted longer than the 3 and 4.
Yes.
And 5.
And
the only PlayStation 2 that I've ever had die is when I got my wife on Pimp My Ride. She got a PlayStation 2 Slim under the hood to play games and movies on. The shaking of the car eventually screwed up. The unit still turns on, but the whole DVD drive is almost out of kilter. So you put a disc in, you can hear it grinding.
Yeah.
So it's like it got out of alignment from the shaking of the car. That's the only time I've had a PlayStation go bad.
I've had a PlayStation go bad twice, and that was both of them were PS4s. And what happened was one, the PS2, I mean not PS2, the first PS4, the Blu-ray was just after a while it got all fucked up, and I could hear the grinding and stuff, and I was like, yeah, well, I know that's not working anymore. So I had to get rid of that one, and then I got another one to replace that, and after an update, it was like my damn PS4 was fucking possessed. I turned it on and the screen was jumping every single way. It would not stay put. Like you would get the wonderful sound and you could see everything turn on, and then after that, everything was just jumping all over the place. And I was like, oh great, I can save my games. And now it's acting like it's possessed. So I had to take it to GameStop. And the guys over there, they didn't really believe me. Then they plugged it in and they were like, oh my God, what is going on with your system? I said, I have no damn idea. And they said, just because we feel sorry for you, here's a 2 terabyte for free on the house. I was like, I love you guys.
Did you try and return it at Walmart?
No.
When I worked at Walmart Claims one year, I think it was a DVD player. I got it back, and the reason for return was demons inside.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would take it. I would take it to. I have a local shop that also has a shop inside of it that does video game repair. The first thing I do is I take that into him, and I'd say, I need an exorcism performed on this PlayStation console.
Dude, I wish I'd have known. I minored in exorcism.
Now, one of the things, okay, Tim says he has an issue with all the video game systems that they cost a boatload of money, and no one has that kind of money unless they work a lot, which is true. I know people that had kids that was begging for all these systems, and they just didn't have the money to be able to afford it.
Yeah, I pissed off one person at GameStop one time. It was an employee. This woman came in. She was getting a Grand Theft Auto 5. And the guy was trying.
Hey guys, I'm going to jump out. So that way I quit making noise. Right. Have fun, everybody.
See you.
The mother was buying the game Grand Theft Auto Online. And she was the guy was trying to talk her into buying it, and I looked at her and I saw she had Grand Theft Auto Online, she had DMC. DMC I absolutely despised for many, many reasons. And I was like, why are you getting your kid a GT5? And I was like, how old is he? And she goes, oh, he's 10. And I was like, you're getting that kid that? And she's like, well, his friend has it, and I thought he could play with his friend too. I was like, do you know anything about this game? And she goes, no. And I told her about the game, and meanwhile the guy who works there is looking at me like, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare. And I'm telling her everything about the game, and she goes, well, it obviously has parental control. And I said, no. And she goes, it doesn't. And I said, no. And she was like, well, what about the other one? I said, the other one, you don't want me to get into that one. And she goes, what's wrong with this one? I said, if you want your kid to learn a whole new language and all it begins with is the F word, then go ahead and get it.
Yeah. Big Dave K.
And if you also want your kid to shoot a pregnant demon through its stomach, go ahead and get it for them. And the guy was just like, he had this look on his face like, I'm going to murder you. And and the mother looks at him and she goes, and you tried to get me to buy this? And she puts them back and she leaves, and the guy looks at me and he goes, leave. And I was like, but, and he goes, leave.
And Tim
Big-
says, no wonder the kids are messed up.
And Big Dave K further up in the chat says, did anyone here as a kid own an Atari 2600 and, for the hell of it, pull out the cartridge just to see what would happen? And later in the chat he says, in mid-game. You actually used to be able to do that with PS1 games. Because PS1 games were designed, I actually did this with Spyro the Dragon once. PS1 games were designed that once the game had a specific section of the game loaded in, it kept that section of the game in the it kept the memory of that image in the actual RAM of the physical console. So you could take the disc out and keep playing until you loaded the next section up.
Yeah. All right. Tim says, I'm on your side with you on this, Scoob. And a lot of this should fall on the parents. Yep.
Oh, parents. A lot of people who are parents today have no business being parents.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know that because I had one such parent. My mother would be the first to admit to you that she had no business being a parent.
If and that's another thing. A lot of parents, what they do is, if they're busy, they'll just take their kids, sit them in front of an iPad or a system, and just let them do what they want.
Yep.
And I was watching my nieces one time because my brother did that. Since the day his eldest daughter was born to even his niece, he just sat them in front of iPads and let them do their thing. Which to this day I'm highly against. But I was walking by my eldest niece one time, and she was like 7 at this point in time, and she was on YouTube Kids, and she was watching it, and porn was playing on YouTube Kids.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, I was like, what are you watching? And she goes, I'm watching Teen Titans Go, and I'm looking at it, and it's Raven and Robin getting it on. I'm like, this is, and my mom was like, how could this get through? And I said, I'll tell you how it got through. And she goes, how? And I said, it's animated. She goes, what? And I said, yeah, if it's in a cartoon form, they'll let it through.
Well, there's also the Elsa Spider-Man videos that got through. That was also pretty much porn.
Elsa Gate. Yeah.
Okay. It was a man dressed in a Spider-Man's costume and a woman dressed up as Elsa doing.
There are ways around this.
Doing all kinds of really fucked up adult shit, like giving Elsa an abortion with a chainsaw, stuff, right? Really crazy, fucked up shit. And it was.
Yeah.
And then you've got Dick or Dildo, which is also popped up under YouTube Kids. Where
YouTube Kids.
Yeah, I told my brother about all the stuff that was popping up on their feed, and he went and looked at it, and he was like, oh my God. And I said, you better do something about this. And he what he did was he told his daughters, he said, from now on, you are not allowed to watch. You have to, he said, if you want to use your iPads or whatever, you're going to have to be playing your games. And so my eldest niece, all she ever does is play Project Sekai, which is a Hatsune Miku game. And the other one she just plays, who's 6 years old, she is, all she ever does is play little kid games on her stuff. But it gets on my nerves mainly because these are kids. They shouldn't be spending their time in front of iPads and stuff like that. They should be going out, getting air, or be going out and learning how to paint or bowl or whatever. You know, that's what I think they should be doing. As far once you become an adult, yeah, that kind of stuff is still key to your lifetime. But you know what? It's not mandatory for kids. It should be.
See, what gets me, all right, I was still playing with my action figures into my teens, and I would use my action figures whenever I would draw, so I could get the shading right and everything. Kids today have gotten so into the digital sphere, it's not even funny. They don't have the imagination that our generations had or have. And it's wild. Jason Love says, okay, this is why I tend to want to pull back and stop even YouTubing. Of all the people across multiple places, I'm forgotten, barely even responded to, especially with the most getting noticed all the time. I don't know what that was.
Well, Crazy and I'll explain that after stream. That's
right.
that's not a thing for now.
Okay. Then we've got YouTube Kids far worse than anything you can find on regular YouTube. Yeah.
There's stuff. There is a whole. I have seen things on YouTube Kids that there is some things that would disgust people who make porn videos.
Yeah. Then we got Tim saying, as long as you put as educational, they'll let it on YouTube. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why the Elsa Spider-Man stuff was able to get through. It was listed under educational.
Yeah, and there's even stuff that that's been done where it's the kids in the videos, like actual kids that are doing the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, or if they're playing games and they're raging and you hear the cuss words come flying out of their mouths, it's like, really?
And
cough.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna game rage and say all that stuff like that, you go to regular YouTube. Look at me. my one of my mods says, I don't care what anybody says, your channel is rated 18 and up because of some of the stuff that comes flying out of my mouth when I game.
Yeah, well, I recommend being an adult for my show because, well, I'm ex-Navy and profanity is like my primary language.
Yep.
And then I
come from a Navy family.
then there's my sense of humor, which is pretty much dirty old man jokes, you know? So
yeah, I can confirm that. He made a dirty old man joke to me the other day.
Yeah, it scared the hell out of you, didn't it?
No comment.
Yeah.
I come from a Navy family, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm used to hearing.
But like I said, I look at this stuff, you know, and when it comes to children, I'm very protective of kids.
Same here, especially my nieces.
For multiple reasons, because children are innocent. They're that innocence. From the shit I've seen in this world, I know innocence needs to be protected. And I want even adults who haven't seen any of the shit I've seen that have a hard time believing it exists. I would love to protect that innocence in them as well. But when they allow that innocence as an adult to put other people in threats of danger of getting raped, murdered, and killed, that's when I draw the line and I start telling them about the shit I've experienced, the shit that I've seen. Because they need to know the world isn't rainbows, puppies, kittens, and unicorns. There's horrible shit out there. There's bad people out there. I mean, I remember telling people about the dick or dildo videos that were popping up for the children's programming on YouTube, the Elsa videos that were popping up on children's YouTube. And they were like, oh my God, what the hell is this? This can't be there. Hold on. Boom. Take a look. Oh my God. And it frustrates the heck out of me, man. Tim says, my friend's kid is going to have some issues, sadly, because his father and what he did to him. Oh, shoot. And could YouTube be sued for that? Yeah, I would hope so.
Well, it depends entirely. It depends entirely on what their policies are. Plus, we also have to remember. We also have to remember that YouTube is, and presumably YouTube Kids as well, is dictated by AI entirely. From what I recall, they got rid of most, if not all, of their human staff.
Yeah, they did. Well, the dick or dildo has been around for almost 10 years now. That, like I said, it's where a gay dude is sitting there bent over with a sheet partially up to where you can see the other gay dude walking behind him. And he holds up, the dude standing up there will hold up a dildo and wave it. And the whole point of the game is the dude has to decide, is it a real dick or a dildo that just got shoved in his butt?
That's
the game. And it was being shown to you on YouTube Kids.
How did we get to dick or dildo from video games?
I don't know. We went off on a tangent.
Yeah, can we get back on topic, please? I'm very uncomfortable with this topip.
What gets me about that is
he's digital. There.
The reason why
he's AI. He's AI.
He's digital.
I think the reason why we ended up going there is the fact that people bringing up the shit that's been going on YouTube, and we ended up talking about it. Now, with the gaming stuff, I'm looking at this as a casual gamer. The only real game that I play literally every day is like Fallout 76. I play every day to make sure I hit my dailies. And I will play my Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts, Legacy, and a couple of other games. And, of course, my Fallout 4, which got me started in the getting back into gaming. I just do not understand how these people can go and change why they're doing stuff. Because Sony had originally, like you said, Sony had originally said that they were going to be the champion for physical media. And then they turn around and do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complete 180.
Yeah. Now, I have something that Marcelo showed me. I'm gonna play it for you guys. Richard and Casey, I know you guys have seen this, but I don't think Scooby Pup has. Marcelo Lopez sent me this, and I wanted to make sure I played it in this stream. Because I think this parody sums it up perfectly.
Why is everyone mocking me? You're not doing your job.
Sony, you're removing physical games and removing movies from the storefront.
No, you're just not working hard enough to convince them that it's for them.
Sony, it's over. There's nothing left. They're all moving to PC.
We're not changing anything.
You have sentenced us to death.
And so be it. I am the king. I can do whatever I want.
You were half the company you were during the PS2 era.
I'm 10 times the company I was during the PS2 era.
Roar.
Physical media preservation. No, you're dead.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't rip you apart.
Tell them. Who's responsible for the death of collecting physical media?
But it was an accident.
If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have to stop making physical media and midnight launches would be thriving. Do you deny it?
No.
Well, here's my little secret. I killed physical media.
Tell them so they can hear you.
I did it. I killed physical media. Ah! No! It was the shift in consumer trends to digital media. You're the ones to blame. What are you going to do? You wouldn't kill your favorite gaming company, would you?
No, I'm not like you. Run away. Never return.
As you wish, Your Majesty. Hey. What's up, guys?
Oh, so we were the problem?
No. What are you doing? No. Ah!
What the fuck?
Pretty well sums it up, I think.
Yep.
Sums it up for now, but they need to add Nintendo.
Oh, I'm sure they already have one for Nintendo, but that's a different story.
Because, like I said, Nintendo played a big part in it. But when you look at it, though, they're all guilty.
I'm just to that point of what the hell, man. If it ain't broke, don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to keep up with modern times. And right now, modern times, meaning TV and such, Nintendo TV and all that stuff, is telling them, go digital.
Yeah, but look what happens when you do follow modern trends from modern audiences. You get dick.
The saddest part of it is, in 10 years' time, I guarantee you we will have physical media again. It's just not going to be the same.
I told one of my friends this yesterday. I see gaming as music. It goes in circles. For example, it'll start in one direction, head in another, and then it'll start and it'll go back right to where they started from. I think it's going to start it started with physical media. They're going to get rid of physical media. They're going to realize they fucked up, and then they're come back to physical media. I think that's how it's going to be.
No, that's what happened with vinyl.
Yeah, now it's vinyl and CD. So what we had strictly physical, then we had physical digital, then we're going to go into digital, and then I have no doubt in my mind they're going to go either straight back to digital, physical digital, or just flat out physical. It's going to be one of the two. Because they're going to realize they fucked up. Because first they have to learn their lesson.
Because, I mean, my mom and dad had a massive amount of vinyl records.
And Marcella's right. All have sinned.
Yeah, everybody has.
They've all sinned.
Yep.
And hell, there was only one being on Earth that that supposedly didn't sin. That was Jesus.
Did Jesus play video games?
No.
Only because they didn't have video games at the time. If they did, I guarantee you he'd be a gamer.
He would have if he was playing. We would learn some really cool, inventive profanity that was divinely inspired.
Well, I heard that Jesus did actually, go and talk to God about it. And, he's like, Dad, I really need something else to do. I know they're going to invent video games in a few thousand years. What do you say? Can we start a little early? And God said, well, actually, I'm not into it, so you got to wait. And no, you can't have a raise in your allowance.
Oh, I tell you, man, I'm just looking at this stuff and wishing. Damn.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually glad that I can't really see the use of stuff anymore because it would probably piss me off.
I just look at it, to the point of these people that are doing this. They literally are being obtuse. They're making it harder for them to make the money that they want to make, and I don't get it. I really.
And like I said, when they had both digital and physical, they were reaching a wider market. They could sell to more people. Doing this limits the amount of people they can sell it to. They can sell their items to.
Exactly. That's why I don't.
They're punishing themselves. This is not going to come out in their favor. It already hasn't.
See, to me, the whole point of being in business is producing a good product, keeping that product high quality so people will throw money at you. It's that simple. Produce a product that the people want and they will throw money at you.
I honestly think that a lot of these big companies today need to give their executives and the people that work there take them back to basic high school, economics.
That's just it. They don't teach that in school no more.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They need to go back there because then people who actually are running these companies would actually know before they started what the objective is.
The thing is, though, is that some of the best bosses for Sony have retired already. Have you brought them back? I mean, some of them the ones that have retired have said already, what are you doing? They've already spoken up about it, saying, this is the stupidest thing you could do. A lot of them already have. The American one that was part of Sony Santa Monica, the Japanese one, they were all like, what? A lot of them are like, what the hell? But the modern ones right now, they're like, we don't give a fuck.
I'm just to that point of, if these people are going to be this obtuse, this stupid, that they're going to get what they deserve in the end.
It's monkey see, monkey do. The other companies are doing it, so they decide, hey, let's do it too.
Well, the saddest part of it all is stupid. You can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
No.
Once stupid takes hold, it's only going to get worse. There is no cure. There is no cure for stupidity beyond death.
And unfortunately, there's an entire generation that's gone through the indoctrination centers that are considered modern day higher education that has pushed this ideology that's so fucking toxic.
I love what Jason Love says in the chat. Says, survey says they are douche canoes.
Yep.
That sums it up perfectly.
Ding, ding, ding.
We have a winner.
Jason, you go out of the bonus round.
But I honestly think, like I said, it's like it's like a circle. I have no doubt in my mind that once they realize they've fucked up as bad as they have, they're going to go back to physical.
And
I mean,
just hope it's not too
like
late by
I
the time
said,
they do.
Microsoft, Xbox, they've already said we intend on going fully digital eventually. Even though we intend on going fully digital, they said we intend on going fully digital. We're not even going to make another console. Well, guess what? They're making another console, but they're now flopping. They're only surviving via Game Pass, which is strictly digital.
Well, I
And
think
most of their games, and they're moving most of their games onto PC. Then you have Steam, which is strictly digital. And then, of course, you have PlayStation, which up until 2028 will have physical and digital for the moment. And then come 2028, that's all going to change. Now, a lot can happen between now and 2028. That is definitely for sure. But as it stands right now, things are not good. And until Sony takes its head out of their ass, they're not going to see that. But as it stands right now, things do not look good. Hopefully, like I said, once they realize they have majorly fucked up, they will go back to adding on physical media. I still believe that it will it'll go around in circles.
But I think the point was rightly made a moment ago. By that time, is there going to be anything left? I mean,
I think there will be.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, and what I mean by I think there will be, I'm saying the interest in gaming will still be there. People will not stop gaming because of this, but I think people will still be looking out for, because I mean, hey, there's eBay and stuff. I think people will still be keeping an eye out for, because of eBay, their physical discs. Now, however, the moment they hear the word physical media, I have no doubt in my mind people are going to jump back on that bandwagon because they want to physically own their games.
Yeah, the sad thing is it's getting to the point where eventually all physical media is going to mean is it is a physical version of the digital product with all the same rules. You don't own the actual physical disc anymore. And once we decide to discontinue it, they'll pull what Redbox used to do. If you kept a movie or a game too long, eventually it'll reformat and it'll be just a blank empty disc. That's where we're headed.
Yeah,
because that's a thing that Redbox used to do, and even Netflix in its early days when it was a media delivery service. If you kept something too long and you forgot to return it, eventually, once it passed that deadline, the disc would reformat, and you'd basically be holding an empty shell.
However, like I said, a lot can happen between now and 2028. However, also, Sony's been going through a lot of lawsuits for many various different things. They can only, and eventually they're going to realize what's been going on, what's going wrong. And a lot of these lawsuits that they're going through right now have to do with the same thing. And that's either price or the physical media. And so, yeah, and the EU, they're probably going to realize, oh shit, we're gonna have a lot of problems too. Brazil, bravo to them. I really do hope that Brazil does something, because if Brazil does step up and do something, then maybe the EU will as well.
I'm looking at the fact that there are so many of these dumbasses that have, all right, video games have made more money in the short amount of time they have existed than the entirety of the movies and TVs and books industries from the beginning. Because I remember back in the day when people looked at video games, oh, that's just going to be a passing fad, blah, blah, blah. Mainstream movie studios, they had a chance back in the day to get in on that money making, and they blew it off. The animators, they blew it off. That's one of the reasons why it took so long for computer animation to get good. And now,
another thing is, so like they said, like is what's been mentioned, is a lot of this also comes down to contractual freedoms. So a lot of this also has to do with the companies themselves going up to Sony saying, we want to do digital only.
Yeah.
So if that's the case also, then they are extremely at fault for this.
So if that's the case, and it's the game developers pushing for it, yeah, there is that possibility. But I'm looking at the fact that,
because as it says in
the mind virus that has been destroying the movie industry, the TVs, the mainstream media stuff, movies, TV, and comic books and everything. It got invaded by the mind virus. They haven't produced anything that's really hit our imaginations, that has held things up. Instead, it's destroyed half-century long IPs that were literally money printing machines. Okay, Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, these things printed money. DC also printed money. In the UK, if it had the Doctor Who logo slapped on it, it printed money. And
so from what I'm seeing,
here's the thing. Okay, this is a little small tangent to hit what I'm trying to touch on. I'm going to use the Doctor Who and thing again here. All right, same toy. They would have the Judy Whittaker Doctor Who logo slapped on it. Nobody would buy it. So they took a sticker and slapped on the Matt Smith logo onto it. And guess what happened to that exact same toy? It sold gangbusters.
Because Matt Smith was a good doctor.
Yes. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because the Judy Whittaker and Shitty Gatwa era of Doctor Who, the stories were so bad that even lefties were saying the stories suck. What the hell? Jon Favreau is pretty much a left-wing dude, but he was seeing what Kathleen Kennedy was doing to his beloved Star Wars, and he didn't like it. So he went and tried to save it. And damn near single-handedly saved it until the season finale of Luke Skywalker coming in to save the day caused Kathleen Kennedy to lose her ever-loving shit.
Yep. And she immediately had to step in and take over.
Yes.
I want to quickly read a.
You cut off there for a minute, Scoob.
I said I want to quickly read you guys a brief article, if that is okay.
Go right ahead.
Okay, this is from IGN. It came out on the 11th of July. It says, as gamers sign online petitions and swarm upon each and every PlayStation social media post, the EU has said it's powerless to actually stop Sony and indeed any company from killing discs. Sony's controversial decision to stop releasing games on physical discs has sparked backlash from gamers upset from the move to an all-digital future for all new PS5 games launched from January 2028 onwards, something that's almost certain to also continue on the PS6. No shit. A high-profile petition called
You just sound waved.
You cut out again, Scoob.
the petition is reaching 300,000 signatures. And in the past few days, screenshots of canceled PlayStation Plus subscriptions. Some had hoped that the EU, which has a record of strict consumer protection, might aid the cause. But Ireland's EU commissioner has said Sony cannot be stopped from doing away with physical discs. As reported by the Irish Mirror, European Commissioner for Consumer Protection, Michael McGrath, said the EU is unable to step in. He says, I quote, "It does come down to commercial and contractual freedoms, and companies are free to offer games and services in the manner that they see fit, provided consumer rights are fully protected in line with national and EU law," he says. At this time, we did have to consider a European citizens' initiative on this question of whether games should continue to be available after a new edition of the game has been brought forward, end quote. Part of the backlash around Sony's decision to kill discs has to do with the ownership and preservation. Last month, the Stop Killing Games campaign suffered a setback when the European Commission said it was unable to propose a legal obligation to keep video games playable after they stop being provided commercially due to existing intellectual property rights. Under EU copyright law, the Commission said rights holders enjoy exclusive rights over their creations. The Commission pointed to existing EU consumer law, which forces video game publishers and developers to inform consumers about the duration and the conditions for terminating the contract before the consumers to sign for the video game. The Commission did, however, say it would talk with the games industry and consumer representatives to draw up on an industry code of conduct on managing video games end of life. With the EU out of the picture, will the online backlash, of course, be enough for Sony take Sony into a U-turn? Not a chance, says Dr. Sekan Toto, CEO of Japanese game industry consultancy firm Kantan Games. He suggested that 500,000 people could cancel their PlayStation subscription in protest, but it would just be a drop in the ocean for Sony, which is not going to change its mind. He says, and I quote, "I sympathize with physical media fans, but Sony will not reverse this decision." They, of course, knew what the online reaction would look like, and they now wait for the storm to pass. Sony has over 120 million active PlayStation users, he continued. Around 50 million people subscribe to PlayStation Plus as a thought experiment. Let's say 500,000 cancel in protest. That would be just 1% of that business gone. Of course, not enough for Sony to start rethinking digital is just too lucrative. For Sony, going all digital for new game releases will earn more money from every sale at a time when console sales are expected to plummet due to rising cost. For first-party PlayStation games such as The Last of Us, Sony will only keep around 65% of the money from a physical copy, with around 30% of the going to the retailer, and roughly 5% on manufacturing costs. Meanwhile, for a physical copy of a third-party game, such as Activision-published Call of Duty, Sony will get a licensing fee, likely around 15%. For downloads, however, the margins are much higher. For first-party games sold via Sony's own PlayStation Store, the company obviously receives 100,000 of the revenue. Not 100,000. I'm sorry, 100% of the revenue. For third-party games such as Call of Duty, meanwhile, Sony keeps 30% of the cut, so roughly $21 to $70 a game. Overnight, Santa Monica Studios confirmed that God of War Laufey will be available on disc. Well, if you've seen what that game looks like, you wouldn't want to buy it in the first place. Suggesting its launch will arrive in 2027. Insomniac has also confirmed Marvel's Wolverine will be released on disc.
Well, I've heard bad things about Marvel's Wolverine, so
yeah. And God of War Laufey. I don't know if you guys have seen clips of that.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't even know. I didn't even know God of War Laufey was even a thing.
Yeah, you play as his wife.
I mean, it sounds like an awesome concept.
You play as his wife?
You play as his late wife.
Yeah, the one who reportedly, who according to the games apparently beat both Thor and Kratos in a fight.
Okay.
With that kind of a reputation, that sounds like a kick-ass concept for a game. How could you screw something like that up with the reputation you have?
That's easy. Girl boss.
Yeah, it is. It's Girl Boss.
The only reason why she beat them both was the power of the JJ. Which I have to admit, the power of the JJ is pretty dang strong. But that's only because of, well, I am a dirty old man.
We weren't going to say you did.
Yep.
Hey, we've got to laugh or we'll cry, you know.
So true.
Because they'll take that. I mean, for the love of God, they did the same thing to Star Wars. She was perfect the whole time. She just needed to figure it out. Rey. I mean, Luke Skywalker had to learn how to be a Jedi. Rey automatically knew just because she had a JJ.
And don't get me started on Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how things are right now.
Eventually that fad will pass and they'll look back on this era of entertainment and think, good God, what the hell were we thinking? Can we kind of brush this under the rug and never talk about it again?
I don't think so, because you know how hard they'd have to work to stomp that tile down under the rug once they brushed it under.
I know, right?
I mean, 15 years? Yeah, that's going to be hard to do.
I mean,
yeah, that is a long era of human history.
Can you?
I do have to admit, okay, I'm hoping future generations will see all of the JD Vance memes, the drinking of hot dog water and him being the big fat tub, being able to like blow shit up with just clapping his hands and all this other, and laser light shooting out of his eyes and all that. I'm hoping future people will be like going, holy shit, that was the vice president? Oh man, that would be so cool. I'll be 90 or so if I'm unlucky enough to still be alive, going, yes, J.D. Vance kicked everybody's ass back in the day. And all the kids be believing that shit. That would be so cool. Sorry. Not sorry. I want that to happen so bad.
You
Of
know,
course you do.
I think we really should have brought the tangent belt today.
Oh, yeah, I should have pulled it out when we brought up the B for Bildo thing.
Yeah.
I really wish we hadn't discussed that.
And Carlos Fish says, no, they won't. They're incapable of looking and thinking. Very true.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I feel like the PlayStation is kind of like Nintendo, where they think they're too big to fail. No one is true. There is no such thing as too big to fail. There is just a point where you cross a threshold where you're financially successful enough that it's difficult to fail.
Yeah.
Unless you're Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast has tried probably 20 times to cancel himself, and he couldn't.
Well, remember, this is also the dude that defended his buddy who went trans and had been grooming kids on their Discord server.
Yeah, that's true.
And for some reason, powers that be in the media are more than willing to cover that shit up.
Because it doesn't line up with. But actually, no. Let's not go down that road.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another show.
Yeah. That's for fireside chats.
Yeah, and we especially don't want to talk about it on YouTube because odds are that can draw the ire of we're going to delete your channel. Yeah.
Yep.
The YouTube demons.
Yep. But I mean, this whole bit, it does confuse the heck out of me that they've done that 180, going from being a champion of physical media to being, nope, we're going straight all digital. Fuck all y'all. We don't give a shit.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm just gobsmacked by it. You know, it's just one of those things where you're like, damn, this is messed up.
Do we know what time Tony's stream starts?
I think it already has.
Okay. In that case we should probably wrap things up.
All right. Let's see. How should we wrap it up? All right. I know. Scooby Pup.
Yes.
Tell people where they can find you and your stuff.
You can find me primarily on YouTube, but you can also find me on Kick and Rumble, as well as Twitch. I game in the week around 9:30 to 10 p.m. Such as tomorrow, I will be hopping back on Pragmata around 9:30, 10 p.m. If you follow me on Twitter, keep an eye. You will find the announcement as towards when I will be on. If you follow me on YouTube, look at my posts. I always put on a post as towards around how long it'll be until I pop on to play the game. Saturday, I have on Scooby Pup's podcast at 5 p.m. Eastern, I have Problematic White Guy, John. He and I will be talking about the pricing of current consoles, what's coming up, console-wise, game-wise, and as well as the physical media and digital media. So we'll be deep diving into that all. Why? Because I'm a gamer girl and I love games.
Cool. All right, Casey, tell everybody where they can find you.
Waravo, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on the panel with these fine people. For anyone that doesn't know me, I am Casey, the creator of Casey's Creepy Creations. If you're looking for the best in short, original, dark science fiction stories, you can find me at Casey's Creepy Creations on YouTube.com. Thank you, one and all. Scoob, it was a pleasure. Richard, everybody, Waravo, true pleasure. Crazy, great to see you.
Can I say one more thing?
The pleasure is all ours, Casey.
Yeah, go
I just
for it.
want to say, people in chat, if you're watching, subscribe to each and every one of us. We all have our own little area that we're trying to reach. I'm trying to get to 700. Everybody's trying to get to a certain area. Please subscribe. Check out all of our channels. We do this for you.
Yes.
Yeah, you are the reason. You're the only reason we do this.
Yep. And then we have Crazy Horse.
Okay. Well, we've had some changes, so I'll let Alice.
So unfortunately, we are having to postpone book club till next week. Things have come up.
Ginger couldn't make
Ginger couldn't make it, but that's fine. We know she's a very, very busy woman. So I'm Alice. He's crazy. We were supposed to be doing book club tonight with Ginger and Eris, but unfortunately that has got postponed till next week. But I'm Alice. He's crazy. You can find us on Crazy Horse 1985. We cannot wait to see everybody for happy hour tomorrow. Thank you, everybody who made it to our late night Friday special, which was a little bit unexpected, but we had a blast. And just let know out there, we love each and every one of you.
So that means, since y'all are not going to be doing that, that means poor Loki's not going to get to have video game time.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Or listen to his records or anything.
Yeah.
And hey, Waravo, thank you and Richard for being our gracious host this afternoon.
Oh, thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure and a joy to have you.
I appreciate that.
And anytime I have a stream, you'll always be the first one to get a link.
I appreciate that.
And Wavo, it is now your turn to tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, the fact that you guys are here right now means you know who I am. I'm Waravo. You can find me on the glorious tube of you at Toa Waravo 01, or just type Waravo into the search bar. I do retro game reviews. I have next week I have a review coming up of my all-time favorite game that I have ever played. So something to keep an eye out. I also have a few other things that I'm experimenting with at the moment. So I have a few new things coming up. So keep your eyes out for that as well.
Sweet. And everyone, thank you guys for coming for Wavo's special deep dive. And I'm grateful he asked me to host it.
Don't forget to plug yourself, Richard. This is you are the host, so don't forget to plug yourself.
Well, Wednesdays or Friday night are for our fireside chats. This Wednesday for fireside chat, we've got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about. Today, the news broke that Lindsey Graham had passed unexpectedly. He wasn't one of my favorite people, but yeah, we will be saying goodbye to him on Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't care who it is. It's always sad when somebody passes.
Yep. And the fact he's from South Carolina and that hits home because, well, that's right next door to me. And yeah, hopefully we'll have more information about what's been going on with Mitch McConnell and to talk about this Wednesday. And Wednesday, I will be coming back from my first appointment with the acupuncturist, which will hopefully mean I will have some pain relief. And that also means if I have enough pain relief, I will do the happy dance on camera. So,
Richard, don't be too ambitious now, son.
Hey, if I'm not feeling pain, and I'm willing to do a little happy dance.
Hey, don't lie. I kind of want to see Richard do the Trump dance.
Well, I mean, he can do the Trump dance, but don't overdo the Trump dance.
That won't be a problem. That won't be a problem. I haven't been able to do really any type of big time dancing in a long time. I believe it or not, I used to do ballroom dancing.
So you did. So you spent your days doing the ballroom blitz.
Yep.
You know,
that was a terrible reference that I think nobody got.
I sang it.
I got it.
Like ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz.
It's the ballroom blitz.
Anyway,
it's awesome. But yes, everybody. Thank you guys for coming. I hope we got a good conversation going, got people thinking, got people looking up what we talked about. As I am wrought to do, I like telling people, let's go out there and be the positive change we want to see in the world. The only way we're going to make this world a better place is by actually going out there and doing something. Go be what you want to see in the world. Unless it's doing really kinky stuff in front of kids, man. That's just not messed. That's just messed up.
No.
And Chippy wants to have a word with you. I swear.
But just got that song stuck in my head.
You're welcome.
And the man in the tent said, "Boy, I had to warn you."
Go out there, be the change, and remember to share the stuff you love with others. Whenever you talk about something you love, people can't help but hear the love in your voice. And when you express what you love about it, that's going to make them want to look into it. And as we all know, this world needs a hell of a lot more love into it. So let's go out there, be a positive change in the world. Share what you love. Be kind to each other. And remember, you are not alone. And you are most definitely loved, even if it is by a broken old fool like me.
Richard, we gotta work on your outro, son.
Yeah, true. But you gotta admit, I like telling people I love them.
I know, but we gotta do something about the last little bit.
Now, broken, absolutely. Old, maybe. Fool, absolutely not.
Hey, the reason why I say I'm a broken old fool is because I'm a fool who is in love with you.
Oh, God. I knew something.